There's a leaf outside, it's flapping on a vine that makes it look like it's waving at me. I have done 4 massive projects in a row. One of them wasn't meant to be. The hats were meant to be very chill and they weren't. More importantly, Alfie has needed constant supervision and frequent vet visits for the last month now, so it's just been really hard to get anything done or sleep through the night. Fingers crossed though, he is nearly through it. So today I want to do just something really cozy and chill. So less reflective over here. Where do I put it? So I recently got my hands on a copy of the Australian Women's Weekly Children's Birthday Cake Cookbook Vintage Edition. So it's not the original that was printed in 1980. Those are really hard to get a hold of. This cookbook, it's just gonna keep getting reflected. I'm gonna put it down. Commit it to memory. This cookbook was in just about every Australian household in the 90s. It was initially released in 1980, but apparently it didn't sell very well in Australia. It did do better in the UK, Canada, New Zealand, and South Africa, and possibly another country. I saw a different country on the list where I looked at it the first time, but did I save that article? No, I didn't. I'm very bad at research. So I think for a lot of us who were children in the 80s and 90s, just flipping through this book like takes you right back. So I put it to my patrons to vote on which cake I should make. The options were the witch, the pool, the tip truck, or the log cabin. Or the secret 5th option, I just do a rant about the fact that the girls section includes a stove. Don't worry, I'm gonna do that rant regardless. Let's talk about the stove. Obviously, it's a different time, but like, I hope that we've moved on from cakes for boys and cakes for girls. So like, rocket ship, that's for a boy. Girls can't be interested in space. Gross. Pirates, 2 different cars. We're not gonna talk about that one. A helicopter, a plane and a boat, the tip truck. And that's it, that's all the boys get. If you're a boy, all you get is vehicles apparently. And then for girls, a candy castle. Why wouldn't a boy like a candy castle? I'm gonna get really riled up. The girls get the sewing machine and the sewing basket. First of all, I love these things, but that's not a gendered thing. Boys need to learn how to sew too. And like, if you're a little kid and you're flipping through this, you learn you're not supposed to like sewing. That's for girls. Sweet shop? You telling me boys don't want a sweet shop as a cake? The stove. The idea that the stove is for girls, that boys aren't supposed to learn how to cook, like they're not supposed to learn how to take care of themselves. I'm sorry, this is getting really unnecessarily angry for like a video about making a cake. Honestly, the eggs do look really appealing. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's like slightly burnt marshmallow. Yeah, it's marshmallows. How is meringue gendered? How is a cake made of meringue? How is that for girls? It's probably the wrong energy for this video, but just know that I have a problem with there being a stove in the girls section. That should be for everyone. Everyone needs to know how to cook. That's a basic skill of existing. So back to the cake selection. The pool won, and I am so happy because as soon as I put the poll up, I was like, secretly, I really, really want the pool to win. I just think that looks like the most fun to make. Why is it green? I have to think that maybe blue jelly didn't exist in 1980. Like, I'm sure that's it. It just kind of looks like it's covered in algae, so that's great. There is one thing though. A few people commented that they didn't remember the witch. At the start of this book, there is a note that says that unfortunately they had to omit 4 of the cakes in the reprint. And I was like, ooh, do I want to know what needed to be removed? Like what they thought was appropriate in the 80s and isn't now? As it turns out, it's Disney. Of course it is. They don't have the licensing for it anymore. So my other guesses for which ones are new is, I think this Hey Diddle Diddle Moon is new. It just looks a little too modern. Look at the photo quality of this one versus this one. Like this one is definitely from the past, but I think that might be new. I mean, that's Bugs Bunny. The gingerbread is old, but yeah, if you have this, if you have ideas about which ones are new, please let me know. Cause like I've got some where I'm like, I definitely remember that, and others I'm like, foggy. So let's break down the elements of what goes into the pool cake. Green jelly, obviously. I don't think I've ever seen a cake recipe that includes nail polish. I want to make it as authentic as possible. So we're sticking with green jelly, even though you can get blue these days. And I am going to paint the plastic babies with nail polish. This mentions Vienna cream as the icing, but it's just buttercream. That's all it is. And this one has some cocoa powder in it, which I think is going to ruin the flavor, to be honest, but I don't think these cakes are about tasting good. So we have our little like ramp to get up in made of musk sticks. The overuse of licorice in these recipes is just, ugh. We have our teeny tiny babies sitting in tubes. Assorted round sweets. We have to paint them with food coloring. This little bed here is made of snakes held together with icing, a little sun umbrella, and then all the way around these choc finger biscuits that I hope still exist. I think it's gonna be really good. I think that's gonna be fun. I don't think it's gonna taste very good, but that's not the important thing. That's not what children care about. First thing we need to do is go and get our ingredients.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to make my own floaty ones. What am I gonna do with an entire packet of musk sticks? These are our beach balls. Finally.
I couldn't help myself when I got back. I was too excited to try these Twix-looking Cadbury chocolate fingers. Also, I recorded a whole bit going through what I bought, but the audio wasn't working, and thankfully I realized I don't need that part anyway. Oh no. So it's like a shortbread biscuit? Like from the picture, I thought that this caramel was gonna be like the caramel that's in a caramel koala, but it's much more like the caramel that's in like a Curly Wurly. Like it's not awful. I'll still eat it. Anyway. To be clear, I'm not endorsing these brands. I'm just too lazy to put everything into those little aesthetic bowls. Okay, so first thing we need is an 8-inch cake tin, and this is the only one I have. I was scrubbing it and I was like, oh, probably due to throw it out. I couldn't get the last of the rust off. You know what? I reckon it's got one go in it left, and then I may have to retire this. I think this was my Nana's. Like, I don't know how I got this. Oh, this is 8.5 inch. Do we think that matters? It's probably fine. It does matter. I suppose it is fine in the end, but it just takes extra steps to get there. I'm currently trying to figure out if shutting the blinds a bit helps with the lighting in here or makes it worse. So far I'm thinking worse. Anyway, I know that using a KitchenAid is not realistic to what it was like to make these cakes back in the 90s, but I don't actually own one of those like hand mixers, so we get to use this thing. Also, I had to wipe it down. It was covered in dust because obviously it just sits on the bench and has been for years. No one ever talks about in cooking shows how much time you have to spend cleaning the kitchen before you can actually film in it. And also we use the kitchen to eat for 3 meals a day. So like I waited till after lunch and now we have these lighting issues. Look, this is the production quality you get. This isn't tasting history. It says room temperature and I've left this out on the bench, but I don't know, it is winter. So it's 125 grams of butter, whatever amount of vanilla that you like. And I cream those together first until this is fluffy, I think, and then add the sugar. Pfft, the recipe says half a teaspoon of vanilla. Not a chance. 2 teaspoons at least. Yeah, probably too cold. That. Oh no. Time for sugar. Can you see? You see my terrible posture? It's a really thick cake batter. Well, that's as much as I can get off of that. Guess I'll just have to, it just doesn't quite feel the same licking the beaters when it looks like this. I don't know, it doesn't look like it's enough cake batter. Considering we need to cut some of it out, I am a little concerned. Very aesthetic. That goes in the oven for 50 minutes, and now we're gonna do the jelly. I'm gonna feel real sick if I keep doing this. Okay. Oh, that bit was just straight butter. This is such a cute little paper bag. I don't know why I find this so adorable and satisfying. It's like, oh, it reminds me of the tiny cereal boxes. We were never allowed them. We only ever got them, I don't know, they would come in something. I thought they were the best. No wonder my parents hated them. They would have been so expensive per 100 grams. I think I just like inhaled that. I wanted to see what it smelled like. It doesn't smell like anything. 250 ml of boiling water, stir until the crystals dissolve, and then add 200 ml of cold water. I used to make this as a kid, and every time I would just do boiling water for the entire thing, and then I couldn't understand why it took forever to set. Oh, now I can smell it. Oh, it's like that lime cordial. The smell of the lime cordial. No, it's not even cordial. The smell of the lime jelly is really bringing me back. I have always disliked lollies. I got invited to a birthday party once when I was like in primary school, and they went to the pancake parlor, which was crazy to me. I had never gone to the pancake parlor before because it's way too expensive. It's pancakes, like you can make them at home. That's one of those classics, like the parents would be like, we have pancakes at home. My dad made crepes. chips, so like they were better at home as well. And they must have been so annoyed about this because I didn't know how much things cost. I was a child. All the other kids got the, I feel like it was Alice in Wonderland themed, is it? The pancake parlor? Oh my gosh, other countries might not have pancake parlor. I can explain pancake parlor. It turns out this is actually just a Melbourne thing. It was one of the only places in the suburbs that was open 24 hours and you could just order a milkshake and hang out, so it was popular with teens and uni students. The Wikipedia page is interesting though. The original couple split and the woman married their business partner, and there's alleged ties to Scientology. Someone should make a documentary about pancake parlor. I think I only went this one time, but basically all the other kids got this little like double stack of pancakes with chocolate sauce, ice cream, and sprinkles on it. And that just sounded awful to me. Like chocolate sauce with pancakes is very, very strange. And so I asked to have the bolognese one where it was like a bolognese sauce and then covered in melted cheese. And I was so excited. And like, this is what I mean when I say I'm food driven, like a dog. All of my childhood memories are linked to food. And I specifically remember being really excited and really happy about my bolognese choice. I bet it was way more expensive than what all the other kids got. Oh my God, the chocolate sauce one is more expensive than the bolognese one. Why did the parents look at me so weird then? I have held on to this for decades. What was the point of that? The point of that is I hate how this smells. Think that that's all of the crystals dissolved. I don't think there's like a worse food texture than eating jelly where all the crystals weren't dissolved. Oh, disgusting. Yeah, that's all of it. 200 ml cold water. This goes in the fridge and then, oh my God, I didn't set a timer for the cake. Well, you know what? It's always good to check it earlier because, I don't know, ovens are probably pretty different than they were 40 years ago. I guess that's 200 ml. All right, there's our radioactive looking jelly. Doesn't that look like something you want to eat? Doesn't that look like something you want to eat once it's like a little bit more gelatinous with a chocolate frog stuck in it? God, I hated children's party food. The chocolate went really weird. It was gross. Please enjoy the return of the Alpha ASMR, this time with the addition of the cone. Well, the recipe said 50 minutes and I cooked it for about 23, so you should always check. Cake's done. I will see you tomorrow for decorating. I didn't like my voice then. I'll see you tomorrow for decorating. Oh no. Oh, thank God. I baked a second cake this morning. I had to go get more flour, so I had to wait until this morning, and so that kind of defeated the purpose of baking the cake the day before so that it would be nice and cooled for when we decorate it. Oh well, let's go decorate a cake. I'm so excited, we're at the fun part. Is my lens is slightly off. Is that better? So I think that the first thing that we need to do, because it needs time to dry, is we need to paint the babies some bathing suits. I have my loud bag of goodies. I wonder what people actually do with these in baby showers. Like, what use does this have other than making this cake? Maybe that's the only reason these are still produced. 3 babies. So I've got some really old nail polish here. Even this nail polish brush seems like it might be too big. It's exactly the smell I want around cake. I can feel this is going to be one of those things where like I'm just going to keep adding and then the whole little doll is going to be completely covered up like it's the Victorian era. All right, it's not my best paint job, but teeny tiny shorts. All right, let's try and be a little bit more precise with this one and see if I can't make him wearing little briefs. Focus. Imagine being a stressed parent. You're organizing the children's party, you've got all the food, you've wrapped their presents, and it's like the night before and you're like, damn it, I forgot to paint the baby's bathing suits on. No. Oh, well, they're gonna be high-waisted little briefs. No, I got its leg. All right, and I've managed to get nail polish on my fingers. Very good. Also, is this a necessary detail? Like, do the babies really need bathers on? Don't babies normally swim naked anyway? Oh my God, it's so difficult. All right, whatever. This one's having shorts as well. Good enough. Okay, so trim the top of the cake so that it is flat. Cut around the top from about 1 centimeter in from the edge to represent the wall of the swimming pool. Hollow out the center of the cake to 2.5 centimeters deep, or 1 inch deep to form a recess for the jelly. My cake is only 2.5 centimeters deep, so there would be no cake left in the middle. So obviously it did matter that I had an 8.5 inch cake tin and not an 8 inch cake tin. I'm gonna try and trim the top off, which feels like something I would want to be lower for. Try and get it straight. Oh no, I forgot to bring a plate to put this on. Oh, I just brushed my teeth. Oh, it's really good though. That's really nice. Is it too tall now? Hang on. Well, what am I gonna do with all of this? Now we're gonna cut out the well for the jelly. Haha, 2 cakes. This can be the one for the adults. All right, that's actually like looking like a pool now. That's really cool. So I made the frosting this morning while the cake was cooling, and I wasn't wrong when I thought that adding the cocoa would make it taste bad. On its own, it's just like a really delicious buttercream, but you add cocoa and it's like, it's chocolate buttercream, but actually it's just buttercream with cocoa in it, and it tastes like that. It tastes like cocoa, not chocolate. Mine is not as dark as theirs now that I look at it. It's weird because this is like closer to my eyes than it would be if it was on a kitchen bench, but it just feels weird to do this while sitting. Probably should have secured this with some icing though. Yeah, that's better. Oh God, the sun. Ah, I'm blind. This probably should have been a chocolate cake. If you're gonna put chocolate biscuits around it and it was gonna be covered with a chocolate buttercream, it probably should have been a chocolate cake. Also, I could have done it on a cake board, but I feel like this is more authentic to have it on a regular plate. I think it's time we find out if I bought enough chocolate fingers. I do not have high hopes. We have to leave a section open for the, it's not a ramp, I called it a ramp earlier, for the ladder to get in, so let's hope we're okay. One of the biscuits is broken, can you see? Oh, it's all right, we have to use it. We don't have any other choice. Oh wait, that's our opening. Haha, we don't have to use it. We made it. This is so heavy. The smell of like the sweetness of this is ridiculous. Like I can smell the cake and the icing and the chocolate and the caramel. I don't have a house full of children to eat this. I think next is the ladder. I'm starting to feel a bit sick just from the small bits of cake offcuts I've been eating. 320 grams of musk sticks. Who needs that many? Ah, I just realized I didn't leave room on the plate for the ladder. Look at the rim I've left there. We'll just have to do. Are there any straighter examples? Okay, they're all kind of wonky. I'm gonna feel so sick at the end of this. Oh, I forgot what texture it was. Lifesavers do a musk version. Those are very nice. This is honestly quite a nice kind of florally candy flavor. It's fine. But the texture of it is like soft but firm, chewy, crumbly, and powdery. I don't enjoy that. I'll need to measure out my little ladders. Ew. All right, that's our little ladder bits. God, it hits you like a truck. I'm guessing they use so much licorice in these cakes just for the simplicity for a home cook that it's just so much easier to work with, but I would use melted chocolate in future. Okay, and so we have to get a little dab of icing. I don't feel like this is gonna be very structurally secure. It feels so arts and craftsy to be building a ladder out of candy pieces. I wonder if the parents enjoyed doing this or if they were like, oh my God, no, not again. Parents? Any parents from that era? Let me know. No, no. No, my ladder. Oh, I'm sad now. All right, I have a chopping board. That feels appropriately garbage for me. So let's retry that ladder. Ta-da! It worked. Oh, the little handles will go into the water. Okay, well then, I don't know if I have enough jelly. We're gonna do our best. We at least have some icing that we could put on in case the water level isn't like even with the pool, because I mean, it's not an infinity pool. I can kind of add more chocolate around the edge, I guess. Oh, that's a very bad sound. Oh, the scraping. Oh, that gave me shivers. Ugh. The light is hitting this in such a way that, like, to me, the jelly looks green/yellow. Like, it looks like radioactive. Oh no, it's super not enough. It's also less jelly than what they asked for because they don't sell it in 100-gram packets and I wasn't smart enough to buy 2. Look at all of our gaps. No. I think I'm going to attempt the beach balls next. I'll try cotton tips first before I introduce paint brushes that I've probably already used for paint. There we go, we have some cool mints. These colors don't really go together, but I've got purple, pink, and green food dye. Oh, okay. I feel like if I put this down, it's gonna roll around. Maybe I can put some icing on the bottom. I wonder if these are even gonna register as beach balls. This feels immensely silly. I should have looked up what beach balls actually look like. As a reminder, this is what we're going for, so I didn't do too bad. All right, well, while those are drying, I think we can construct our jelly snake daybed. It's a daybed, that's what it is. I could not remember what it was called earlier. It's so sweet. Everything smells so intensely sweet. This would take so long. Like, I'm doing this as an activity for fun, but imagine doing this while also preparing for a party and hosting and taking care of a child, presumably, because that's why you would be making it. That's ridiculous. Now we just need to mortar this together with some frosting, as you do. All right, that's pretty good. Can you see it? Our babies need, 2 of them need floaty rings and they need sprinkle swim caps. When I told Thomas I need to go get sprinkles, he was like, what for? And I was like, the babies need swim caps. The sizing is off, but whatever. Oh, fantastic. By making the floaty ring, I'm covering up the swimwear that I spent so long on. Let's go. Are you kidding? Ah! I have a lighter. Oh, I have a candle too. Whoop, okay. Oh no, it just like burnt. Have I succeeded? I think it worked. Oh no, it's coming apart. In my defense, I remember making tiny poppets with a candle and a bag of party mix as a kid, so I had good evidence that this would work. Try and smooth out that seam. They're not holding very well, but they are stupid. Oh, that's so dumb. That doesn't look like a swim cap. Let's put the rest of it together and take a look at the close-ups. This feels like an incredibly dumb video. I hope you were ready for a chill one because this is pretty garbage. I need you to know that I tried my best. All right, let's go. I tried to make it look as much like a kid's party as possible. We're missing sausage rolls and party pies. The smells coming from this cake are an affront to my delicate sensibilities. Also, one of the tubes just keeps unraveling like the snake. I got a different snake. I melted it back like a couple of times. It's just not happening. It doesn't like it. I don't know why the yellow one worked. There's nothing for it. We just have to try the cake. Oh no! I drowned one of the babies. He's gone. He's gone forever. Let's see if we can actually even get a slice of this cake. Okay, so I got no jelly and there's a plastic baby in the center of the cake now. He's dead. Oh no, I can't get him out. All right, let's try and get everything in there. So we've got a jelly snake, some cake, and we want some frosting and jelly. Oh my God. I can't eat the jelly snake, that's awful. Oh, wow. I think we can all agree that this is a cake for looking at and not particularly for eating. I made extra buttercream frosting and just left it as vanilla so that I could put it on the part of the cake I knew I would cut out. About 1,000,000 times better. That's an abomination. Maybe children can deal with that much sugar. This is delightful. All right, I'm gonna go feel really sick. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time for something that's just, I've taken on too much, I'll be honest. Bye. I now have 3 full slices of fairy bread to eat and a cake covered in jelly. Oh, I'm gonna have a lot of energy and then I'm gonna crash really bad.